following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
It's time to This portion of Say When is presented by the NBC Television Network. Now here's the host of Say When, Art James.
Thank you very much, Bill. Thank you, Wayne. Good morning. How are you? Gee, things have been kind of lean lately. You know, the jokes have been really trickling in. Another one poured in yesterday. So here's a couple of them, two fast ones. My hair is falling out, admitted the timid man to the chemist. Can you suggest something to keep it in? Certainly. Here's a cardboard box. Oh, it's better than I thought. Well, all right, one more. Definition of a rabbit farm. A hair-raising experience. All right. Say, we're off to a roaring start, aren't we, contestants? Well, let's say good morning to our two contestants. And here's our champion from Ashland, Kentucky, Mrs. Fernita Wallace, and her challenger from Beloit, Wisconsin, Mrs. Maria Rolls. Well, Mrs. Wallace, good morning to you. How are you?
Just fine.
So you're a good champion. Won 2 straight games the other day, and included among the prizes you won, thousands of dollars worth is a car, too. Very good.
Yes, I really wanted that.
Well, Mrs. Rolls, it's nice to say good morning to you again.
Thank you,
We just had a chance to meet you for a few minutes yesterday. Didn't have time to play a game. But I was rereading your card. You know, the statistics. I know your husband is retired, but you're also retired because you worked many years, too.
That's right.
And
I worked in just one restaurant for 11 years.
For 11 years. That's remarkable.
That's right.
And Mrs. Rolls said yesterday that she's been married 42 years.
42 years, that's
having
right.
a honeymoon in New York.
Never had a honeymoon before, so
Well, congratulations.
we're just
Very
vacationing.
Nice. Very nice. All right. Let's run down the rules of the game, then we'll get right into it. You're going to pick whatever prizes you want from our game board, and every time you pick, we tell you what the prize is worth, and we add the dollars to your score. So here we go. Your goal this game is $950. If you are nearest to $950 without going over, you are the winner, and the prizes you picked are yours to keep. But if you bust over the goal, your opponent wins automatically. First one to win 2 games is our champion, goes on to meet a challenger in a new match. And with that explained, let's take a look at the first 4 prizes. Here they come. First, a vacation in the Catskill Mountains. It's a 6-day vacation for 2 with meals at Grossinger's Hotel in upstate New York. Next, an accordion. 120 bass accordion from Feder Fiza. Next, a sailboat. A 14-foot molded fiberglass sunfish sailboat by Alcort. And here comes our final prize. A sports dress. Ruth Hazley is wearing a lightweight woven French wool sports dress. It's in a black and white splash print and is from Ben Reed. There are the first 4 prizes in this game. No one prize is worth more than $950, which is our goal. And Mrs. Rolls, as challenger, you're entitled to pick first.
Well, I'll take the vacation.
She's taking the vacation to the Catskill Mountains. She came to New York City for a vacation. Now she needs a vacation from New York City.
We need one.
She wants to go to the Catskills. The vacation is worth $320. Mrs. Wallace, take a look at our board. You'll see another prize come up. An air conditioner, a Westinghouse mobile air conditioner.
Oh, well, I've wanted a sailboat for so long. I'm just going to have to take that.
That's it, the 14-foot Sunfish sailboat by Alcort. And the value of the boat is $467. Now let's take a look at our next prize. Mrs. Rolls, there's a Polaroid Model 110B land camera, which now develops its own pictures in just 10 seconds. But that goes up with 3 others. Take your pick.
Oh, I need an air conditioner so bad. Air conditioner.
The air conditioner. Gee, it gets pretty cold in Beloit in the wintertime, doesn't it?
But it gets awfully hot in the summer.
Hot in the summer, too. She's taking the air conditioner. Mrs. Rolls has $320. The value of the Westinghouse mobile air conditioner is $269 for a total of $589. Mrs. Wallace, you're going to pick next, but first we're going to show you another prize. Both of you, look to your left for our next prize. Watch this. Archery equipment. Yes, here's our Lady Robin Hood, and she has a 40-pound pull bow made of maple core and fiberglass, an archery glove. Very good, Ruth. An armband, all leather quiver containing a dozen steel-tipped target point arrows and an 18-inch target. And all of this is from the Paragon Sporting Goods Company. Watch this. Now, I have to tell you, Ruth is kind of a modern-day Robin Hood. She's pretty good on fur coats, though, I'll tell you. I told her, that's the last time she does a live prize on this show. Well, Mrs. Wallace, if we haven't confused you at all, that is one of the 4 prizes. Hey, listen, you think you have a bad seat here? Those folks in the balcony were plenty worried. Okay. All right, the archery equipment goes up with the accordion, the Polaroid camera, and one thing we can say for Ruth is she's wearing a pretty dress. That sports dress she's wearing is part of the 4 prizes, too.
Well, I've been wanting those cameras.
The Polaroid camera. Polaroid Model 110B land camera. Mrs. Wallace has $467, and the camera's worth $173 for a total of $640. Back to Mrs. Rolls as we put another prize on the board. And it's a blank check for chow mein dinners with noodles and soy sauce by La Choy. Mrs. Rolls, you may have from 1 to 50 cases. There are 12 packages per case. But you can have any one of the other 3 prizes, too.
I'll have to take the dress.
She's taking the sports dress. Yes, just keep turning the other way, Ruth. It's the black and white print sports dress in French wool. The value of the dress is $245 for a total of $834. It's a good dress. Mrs. Wallace, look at our game board. Here comes another prize. A man's watch in a 14-karat gold case by Lucien Picard. That goes up with the accordion, the blank check for the chow mein dinners, and, of course, the archery equipment.
I believe I'll have to take the blank check.
She's taking the blank check. You may have from 1 to 50 cases. There are 12 packages per case. Chow mein dinners with noodles and soy sauce.
I think I'll take 40 cases.
40 cases of chow mein dinners. There are 12 to a case. Mrs. Wallace has $640. The value of the 40 cases of chow mein dinners is $283 for a total of $923. Good. Mrs. Rolls says that's good. And it's Mrs. Rolls' turn. Here comes our next prize. An electronic portable air purifier by Puritron to rid your kitchen of odors and smoke. Mrs. Rolls, you're now $116 from your goal.
I'll take the watch.
She's taking the man's watch. She's trying to get as close to $950 she can without going over. Let's see if she does it. The value of the watch is $200. She's over. Mrs. Wallace wins. Congratulations, Mrs. Wallace. That's 3 straight games. Now, just before, it'd be kind of interesting to go back to the board. Faye, what was the value of the Puritron?
I should have taken the Puritron.
$80, yeah. I think you should have taken the Puritron there. But don't despair. That's 1 game for Mrs. Wallace, and it takes 2 to make a champion.
I didn't think the watch was that high.
And we have many champions who have come from behind and gone on to win.
That's right.
But now, Mrs. Wallace, very good. Her 3rd straight game. More prizes are coming up. And here's Wayne Howell.
Mrs. Wallace, you win a Polaroid camera, the 110B Pathfinder model that developed its own pictures in just 10 seconds. And you have 40 cases of La Choy chow mein dinners that can be ready to eat in minutes. And finally, you've won a sailboat, a 14-foot fiberglass sunfish sailboat with 75 square feet of nylon sail. And congratulations from Say When.
Oh, that's nice. Well, relax for just a moment, both of you. We'll start the next game in just a moment. But now, tote machinery for scoring Say When is made by the American Totalizator Company, a division of Universal Control Incorporated. We have a short message now from NBC. We'll be back.
Oh, what I see in my crystal ball. This coming Saturday, what programs?
What programs?
Well, there's one with a king.
His name is Leonardo.
How do you know? His name's written in colors.
That's because he's in living color.
Even so. And then there's a show with a horse.
It must be Fury.
Is he furious?
Why?
Because there's another horse chasing him.
Who?
Oh, no. There's a masked man with a silver bullet on it.
Can it be?
It is. It's Silver and his trained man, the Lone Ranger. He didn't wait for thanks again.
He never does.
And then there's a show with a lamb on it.
That's you.
Oh, you meet Lamb Chop.
On the Shari Lewis Show.
In loving color.
That's living.
I love it.
Every Saturday morning, all over most of these NBC stations.
Well, we're here with Mrs. Wallace, our champion, who just racked up another game, and her challenger, Mrs. Rolls, who is determined to tie it up in this next game. So good luck to both of you. If you're set, we'll get right into it. I think you'll like this one. Your goal this game is $2,300. It's a big one. And we'll prove it to you because here comes our first prize. Look to your left and you'll see it. A chinchilla capelet. Ruth is wearing a beautiful two-tiered chinchilla capelet. It's surrounding black velvet that closes to a boa cape. And it's from J. Diamond. Now watch closely. We're moving closer into Ruth to see our next prize. A gold and star ruby ring. Just gaze at this 18-karat gold ring with a star ruby weighing 6.86 carats and 20 brilliant cut diamonds weighing 0.91 carats from Black Star and Gorham. And you can gaze a little more closely at it because here comes Ruth with the ring and the chinchilla capelet.
Oh, here?
And we'll leave the ring right here just so you can look at it in case you want to pick. And you've seen the capelet. Thanks, Ruth. And there's the first two prizes, and now here comes our third prize. Look at the board. A dining grouping. It's a 7-piece dining grouping in cast aluminum by Mola. And finally, an electric car. It's the Town and Club electric runabout car with a 2-horsepower motor, 4-speed forward and reverse gears, and 570 by 8 tires. Selected from the Spiegel catalog, Chicago, Illinois. You've seen the first 4 prizes in this game. No one prize is worth more than $2,300. Mrs. Rolls.
Well, no, my daughter needs a dining room set. I think I'll take the dining room
A
set.
7-piece dining room grouping in cast aluminum by Mola is Mrs. Roll's first pick. And the value of the grouping is $854. Valuable. Mrs. Wallace, we're going to show you another prize right now. Here it comes. A color television set. A 21-inch color television console in a walnut finish by Admiral. That's one of 4.
I think I'll take the color television set.
The color TV. It's a 21-inch television console model, and the value of it is $695. And in a moment, Mrs. Rolls, we'll put up another prize. You'll have 4 to choose from, and you will pick one. But now we're going to pause just a few seconds for station identification, and then we'll be back with the second half of the program.
A wife fears for her life because her husband fears she'll reveal his secret Sunday.
Welcome back to the second half of Save When. Once again, here's your host, Art James.
Thanks very much. Thank you. Welcome back. Well, we're here with our Mrs. Wallace and Mrs. Rolls, and they'll resume the game they just started, the second game between these two in just a moment. Right now, I'd like to remind you once again, if you're coming to the show at any time in the near future, please remember that all members of our studio audience are eligible to become contestants on Say When. There they are. And that's the address to write to. About a month before you intend coming, write to NBC Ticket Division, your name and address on a postcard, NBC Ticket Division, 30 Rockefeller Plaza, New York, 20 New York. As I say, it takes about a month to process things, and don't write to me or to Say When. That only delays your request, and I can't read anyway. But the address is NBC Ticket Division, 30 Rockefeller Plaza, New York, 20, New York. All right, with that said, we'll be back to the game in just a moment, but right now, another short message from NBC. So watch this.
Why me? Why does he blame me? Huh? Never mind, I know why. I know. Everybody blames me.
Some people called him a boy. Others accused him of being a killer. He was Billy the Kid. He reckoned one man to be his friend, Sheriff Pat Garrett, the tall man.
You've got a good job with Tundle. Work at it.
And I don't like people tell me what to do.
Barry Sullivan appears as Sheriff Pat Garrett, devoting his life to upholding the law. The exciting young Klug Gulager is seen as Billy the Kid, the man history made into a legend. See dramatic action and exciting stories of Billy the Kid and Sheriff Pat Garrett, the Tall Man. The Tall Man, Saturday at 8:30, 7:30 in the Central Time Zone over most of these NBC stations.
You may not know what we're laughing about here, but about 2 seconds ago, I was 100 feet away from this spot. We're back, and we're back with our champion, Mrs. Wallace, her challenger, Mrs. Rolls. Mrs. Wallace has already won one game. We're in the second game, which Mrs. Rolls has to win in order to tie it up. It's a big game, too, $2,300. Mrs. Wallace has already chosen a color TV. She has $695. Mrs. Rolls has picked the dining room grouping for a total of $854. It's Mrs. Rolls' turn to pick a prize. So let's put one more up on the board. And here it comes. A gas range. A 36-inch gas range from the Caloric Appliance Company. Mrs. Rolls, that goes up with the electric car and, of course, the chinchilla capelet and the diamond and ruby ring. Golden star ruby ring.
Well, needs a stove too, so I'm going to take the stove.
She's taking the stove. The gas range.
That's right.
Okay. You pick all the prizes for your family.
For my daughter, that's right.
Well, Mrs. Rolls says $854. That's the dining room grouping. She's picked the stove, and the value of the stove is $342 for a total of $1,196. Now then, it's very early in the game, but I want to warn both of you now, don't get into the box. That's where you're behind your opponent, and yet the only prizes left on the board are going to carry over the goal. Try to avoid that. Mrs. Wallace, here comes our next prize. A blank check for Dad's root beer. Yes. You may have from 1 to 250 cases, and there are 6 half-gallon bottles per case. But, of course, there are 3 other prizes to choose from, too. Mrs. Wallace is choosing the electric car. She has $695, and the value of the car is $1,295 for a total of $1,990. She's moving up fast. All right, Mrs. Rolls, next prize coming up on the board, 30-volume library for children. It includes the Book of Knowledge and the Book of Popular Science by Grolier. And it goes up with a blank check for the root beer, the ring, and the chinchilla capelet.
I'm going to take the check.
She's going to take a blank check for Dad's root beer, 1 to 250 cases, 6 half-gallon bottles per case. You're over $1,000 from your goal.
Yeah. I'll take 200.
200 cases of Dad's root beer.
Wow.
Well, she's got children and grandchildren,
That's right.
and if it works, they'll be happy. The value
They would
of the
love
200 cases of Dad's root beer is $588 for a total of $1,784.
Oh, boy.
All right. Mrs. Wallace, another prize for you to see. A lounge chair in Algiers plastic by Burris. You are now $310 from your goal.
Well, I think I'll take the Book of Knowledge. I think
The
that-
30-volume library for children. Mrs. Wallace is $310 from her goal. Let's see what happens to her score. The value of the library for children is $240 for a total of $2,230. $70 away. She plays well. Mrs. Roll, here's our next prize coming up. Another blank check. This time for Lifelite Super Rechargeable Flashlights with auto charger adapters by Goulton Industries. You may have from 1 to 30 flashlights or any one of the other three. The lounge chair, the ring, or the fur.
I'm going to take the check.
She's going to take the blank check. You may have from 1 to 30 flashlights.
30.
30? She's filling in the blank check for the full amount. 30 flashlights.
Oh, I'll be over.
Well, she's using the blank check. I think part of her thinking is she doesn't want Mrs. Wallace to have a chance at it because Mrs. Wallace is very close to her goal. The value of the 30 flashlights is $389 for a total of $2,173.
Wow.
Here comes our next prize up on the board. A 35-millimeter slide projector with remote control by Air Equip. Pick one of these prizes, Mrs. Wallace, to get closer or say when.
I'll have to say when.
She says when with 2230. Mrs. Rolls, there it is. You have to beat 2230 and yet stay under 2300. There are 4 prizes up on the board. And you're $127 from your goal.
I'm going to take a chance on the chair.
She's taking the chair.
I don't know.
The lounge chair in Algiers plastic by Burris. Mrs. Rolls is not quite sure.
Ooh, I'm not.
Well, let's see what happens. The value of the chair is $80 for a tough. She wins! Mrs. Rolls, congratulations. That chair did it for you. Mrs. Wallace said when with 2230, and you fell between that and the goal of $2,300.
Daughter has a chair and a
So it's all tied up now.
Oh, wasn't that wonderful?
Isn't that wonderful? She's so happy that her daughter has all these things that
and
she's
a
picked.
dining. She's going to be tickled to death. Oh, I'm so glad.
Listen, you'll be more excited at the way Wayne Howell reads these things. Wayne, let's hear about it.
Oh, I'm so nervous.
Well, Mrs. Rolls, you have a 36-inch gas range with an automatic clock-controlled oven, thermostatically controlled griddle, and observador window from the Caloric Appliance Company. Also, a lounge chair in Algiers plastic with a deep coil spring unit by Burris. And Mrs. Rolls, I hope you're thirsty because you have 200 cases of Dad's old-fashioned root beer. Not to mention 30 Lifelite Super Rechargeable Flashlights with auto charger adapters by Goulton Industries. And finally, a dining grouping, a 7-piece dining grouping in cast aluminum, including a glass-top table and 6 chairs with removable seat cushions by Mola. And congratulations from Say When.
Well, it is true, Mrs. Rolls.
Oh, my
And, you know, as Wayne was reading the prizes, Mrs. Rolls had a comment to say about each prize as to what use she's going to put it to. So let's run down them once again. Now, the dining room grouping is
It's for my daughter.
And you
And
have
the stove is for my daughter.
And the root beers?
And the root beer is for my grandchildren.
Well, how about the other blank check for the flashlights?
I'm going to keep, for my son-in-law. And the chairs for myself.
Well, you mentioned your son-in-law has a garage, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yes,
he has.
A flashlight. Gee, that's wonderful. It was a big game.
He lives in Iowa City. They live in Iowa City.
Well, speaking of big prizes, Mrs. Wallace, our champion in the 3 straight games she won, has an automobile.
Yeah.
And a tugboat.
Yeah. I didn't want the automobile. Neither one of us drive. We've never had a car.
That's wonderful. And both of you are on vacation. I'm happy that we made the vacation something a little extra special for you.
We're seeing all the
Well, we'll see what happens in just a moment, so relax, both of you. And right now we have another short message for you, and we'll be back, so watch this.
Once there was a little boy who had a green thumb. And like anyone with a green thumb, his luck with growing things was amazing. Snapdragons, tulips, radishes, or watermelon. Everyone believed he had some magical power. One day, some people asked the little boy for help. A fire caused by a careless person had destroyed a forest. The people were sure the little boy could grow new trees right away. He hoed, he watered, he sprayed, but nothing happened. There is no magic way of replacing a forest. Trees take time.
Yes, even with the help of a green thumb, it'll take a lifetime to restore this forest. Remember, only you can prevent forest fires.
Well, we have about a minute left, so really we can't get into another game now, because we just have time to put up the prizes and say goodbye. There's one thing I have in the way of, the bow and arrow thing. Did you ever hear the story about the little Indian brave who was approached by his father, the chief, and the chief said, who was it that pushed over the teepee? I think it was you. And the little brave said, no, it wasn't me. And the Indian chief says, remember the story of our great white father, George Washington. When George chopped down the cherry tree, his father said, if you tell the truth, you won't be punished. That's what happened. And the little Indian brave said, all right, I pushed the teepee over the cliff. So the chief hauls off and gives him a whack on the head, And the little brave says, but you said if I told the truth, that I wouldn't be punished, like George Washington telling the truth about chopping down the cherry tree. And the chief said, yes, but George Washington's father wasn't in the cherry tree when he chopped it down. Well, we do have to say goodbye now, just a few seconds, so this is where we'll pick up tomorrow. Both of you have a game, which is very nice, and all those prizes are yours to keep. And the first game tomorrow will be Monday. Well, I'm going to come here tomorrow. I just, see, speak for yourself. I just sit in the studio and rehearse my mistakes, and, well, it'll be Monday at the same time. See you then, I hope. Don't forget to say when and have a nice weekend. See you Monday.
Say When is a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production. Prices on Say When or FOB City of Manufacture or Port of Entry are rounded off to the nearest dollar and authenticated by the seller. Now stay tuned to Play Your Hunch in Color starring Merv Griffin. Next over most of these NBC stations. This is Wayne Howell speaking.
Come in and let's watch Bonanza.
In color.
Saturday night on NBC. Produced in association with the NBC Television Network.